Groove, 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 can I do it? Can I do it? How we do it? Hey, how we do it? I know what you looking for. I know what you looking for. I got your answer. I hope that you ready though. I hope that you ready though. Can you withstand it? I know what you looking for. I know what you looking for. I got your answers, but make it reciprocal. Better make it reciprocal. Don't tell me why I do it. I rebuttal, why not? And they ask me where you going, son. Told them straight to the top. Can't get caught up in the trap. Can't get caught up in the lie. Cause I was the keys before the music. That mean I can't be stopped. Don't confuse me, don't confuse me. No, I ain't the normal type. Choosy, know you choosy, but I got just what you like. Don't confuse us, don't confuse us. No, we ain't the normal type. Routine, get a routine, but I got just what you like. Everybody say it. Can I do it? How we do it? Hey, how we do it? I know what you looking for. I know what you looking for. I got your answer. I hope that you ready though. I hope that you ready though. Can you withstand it? I know what you looking for. I know what you looking for. I got your answers, but make it reciprocal. Better make it reciprocal. Don't you they ask me how I do it. I respond how not. And they ask me where you're headed, son. Elevated to the top. Can't get lost up in your chatter. Can't get caught up in your lies. Cause I can see you a mile away. Even when you in your disguise. Don't confuse me, don't confuse me. No, I ain't the normal type. No, you're choosy, yeah, you're choosy. But I got just what you like. Don't confuse.
Deadstock, that's like tucked away. You buy them and you tuck them away and you don't touch them. They're brand new for however long.
Deadstock is just older shoes that have been worn, that, you know, have been sitting in boxes for years, but are used. That's not really where Deadstock came from. Deadstock more came from being brand new, never worn, never tried on, never touched.
Deadstock, never worn.
Yeah, no, not in stores anymore.
When I got into collecting sneakers, Deadstock meant that it would never ever be produced again. That was the original term that I remember originally associating, not brand new, but never going to be made again.
That's it for it.
Right. It's never going to be made again. It's a Deadstock. The production's done. Somewhere that changed along the lines to brand new. So Deadstock, brand new, untouched, never been worn, never been laced up. That's what Deadstock means to me today. Back when, it meant it's not going to be produced again.
Deadstock means to me just having a completely brand new pair of shoe. It's like the shoe is completely brand new condition, and I would definitely have, if I really love the shoe, I would definitely make sure I have an extra pair or two to the side so I can have a fresh pair to break out, you know, maybe a year, 2, 3 years later.
Deadstock to me was like old classic kicks. I think as the years went by, you know, the meaning has changed, you know what I mean? People call this a Deadstock. The reason they call this a Deadstock is it's brand new.
Deadstock bringing out a fresh, haven't been worn yet, just ready to kill them. out of the box. Unworn, just, you know, you just gotta wait for that certain day, that certain time, and just bring them out and kill them.
That store only had 300 shoes in total. Mall security had to call Indianapolis police for backup after pushing and shoving broke out amongst the crowd. Look at this. For shoes.
Deadstock to me meant brand new, fresh out the box. People are giving it different meanings now. I don't follow up with that. That's what it meant to me. Something is deadstock, is brand new, out of the box. Also can mean something vintage. It's deadstock.
That's it, no more.
No more.
Yeah.
Something that, like when you go to like, I remember when Flight Club first opened up on Green. It was deadstock stuff. When they had the website on Vintage Kicks, it was deadstock stuff. And when you said deadstock, you meant shit that you can't walk in a Foot Locker and find. I genuinely love sneakers. Like people call you a sneakerhead. I'm not a sneakerhead. I'm not a sneaker collector. I have a sneaker obsession. It's different for me. I just like the silhouette of the shoe, the fabric, and a real OG sneakerhead would testify to this. Certain shoes, when you see it, take you back to a place in your past.
So, where do we start? How do we explain this obsession with sneakers? Well, my theory is the kicks that we rock on our feet are the byproducts of the natural resources provided by our planet. From the rubber cultivated from trees to the leather skins we get from cattle, and never to be left out, the cotton, one of our country's most coveted commodities, used in the laces we need to tie it all together. And although simplistic on their own, when combined properly, these components form a bond between us and them. As the Native Americans taught us, every living thing has a spirit. And even though these parts are subtracted from the whole, their sum shall never diminish. Produced at alarming rates, sneakers still have the power to bring out the masses. Heads line up release date after release date to get these coveted shoes. It's $1 billion business with manufacturers showing no signs of letting up. The numbers don't lie. Take a look around. The sneaker culture keeps growing, and everybody thinks they're the plug. But who are the ones really capitalizing?
You know what I'm saying? Like Jordan 4s. I remember when Jordan 4s dropped. Jordan 3s. Hirachi.
Not even. We weren't crazy when we got back the Hirachi trainers. The original
the
colorway.
original black and ice blue. It took me back to a time. When the white and the green and purple came out, I told him I remember having it. I got it from my homeboy back in the days.
All right, like it all starts like this. Whether you're buying a shirt, clothing, an artifact, car parts, in order to ease the cushion of your spending habit, you have to buy multiple, sell some, and keep something for yourself. You know, like that's just the formula. You know, like nobody never want to admit to reselling. You know, because that's so cliche. Because there's more to it. That's like saying yes or no. I mean, like we live in New York City. You know, like New York City is the hustler capital of America. You know, and nobody is not going to be a consumer forever. Obviously, like it's all about fashion, and then it just gradually, you know, like merges from fashion to like a hobby, and then a hobby turn into like collecting, you know, like it just merges. You know, it's just like when like the stores like align.
I learned like it didn't really hit me until this year when I started like. I own a brand now, and it didn't really hit me until recently that I use a lot of what I learned from like buying and selling and like talking to people through trades and stuff, like that helps a lot, or that's taught me a lot about just like general networking, or like in all assets of anything really, or like, you know, working out like deals like wholesale and whatnot. It's all like, it all kind of comes back around. Like I learned a lot about how to talk to people and how to negotiate through like buying sneakers.
The art of buying, trading, and selling was the only way to get something. You know, it was just one transaction. Like people think that reselling is one transaction. You just go inside of a store, buy it, and resell it. But no, you have to buy, trade, and sell. It's all in one motion. But only like certain people is gonna understand that formula. You know?
We definitely used to be, not as much anymore. Just as time grew, I got older and got different interests, but it sparked what our main interest is right now, so it's great.
It taught us a lot of business ethics, though. Yeah. A lot of business strategies on how that we use today for our company.
I mean, things have definitely changed over the past couple of years. When I got into it, it was mostly still collectors. You know, you were online with maybe 10, 15 other people, 20 people, and they were all, a majority, 90% were buying to wear the shoe. They were buying because they liked the shoe, they were passionate about what they were doing. Now it's a little different. Now I feel like 10% of the people waiting or getting shoes are actually keeping them, are actually in it because they love sneakers, rather than they're just trying to make a buck. But I mean, with almost anything in this world, when there's a dollar to be made, there's a reseller or a hustler or somebody there to make it. So, I mean, you can't change the way things are. When you create a limited edition, anything, there's people there that are going to want it. It's so, when you make something limited, hard to get, people are going to want it, especially if it's a good product.
That was something new. Normally, as a consumer, you buy something and you consume it. You don't think that it's worth anything to anybody, so you never calculate when you spend money and you consume something. Like, you never calculate that. But the moment people start to realize, it's like, okay, you can walk inside of a store, buy something, consume it, regurgitate it, and then give it back. Then it's like, hold on, this is something different now. This is like a new science of economics. And I ain't had no problem selling clothes like off my back. Hey, like if you, and that was something new to me, like me wearing something and somebody wanted to buy like a Hilfiger Locust shirt or like a Polo Sportsman Suicide shirt, that was something new to me, that somebody was willing to buy it off me for more than retail back in the 90s, that was something totally new for me. So that was when I knew it's like, okay, like what I'm wearing is worth money.
When I really said, yo, this is it for me, like this is a culture that I want to be involved with, was my dad found a flyer, it was called Sold Out, and this was like 2006, I think. And it was a sneaker trade show, exchange show, whatever. And it was at a dance studio in Soho. And my dad brought me there.
Business-wise, I think that started in the early 90s. A lot of like the mom and pop stores was owned by Italians and Asians, Asian like immigrants that became citizens. And I believe like in the early 90s, the Middle Eastern, known as Arabs, or what we call Punjabs, would buy out the small like mom and pop stores. When they bought out like the mom and pop stores, they didn't keep like the Nike accounts. And the reason why is because they was selling shoes for overbox price. When you sell shoes for overbox price, somewhere down the road you're gonna lose that Nike account. So they were the first resellers, if you want to think about it. A lot of like the mom and pop stores before that era in the 90s sold shoes about like a week or two right before they came out. So they created the term reselling. I think that when it got on a local level, that consumers like myself start to realize, you know what, maybe this is worth more than what I think it is.
I was focused on flipping my money and supplying my friends. It really wasn't, I didn't think about a website. I didn't think that it was even gonna get this big. It was just more or less like I had a lot of friends who all went to mom and pop shops, because that's what we all did growing up. I never knew that you could go to Foot Locker and get your Jordan for $150, $160. I never knew you could get paid retail. I was going to mom and pop stores, and I've been spending $300 to $500 on a pair of Jordan damn near my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Except for when I was a kid and it was $125. But no, since I've been an adult, yeah, that's pretty much what it's been. So I never knew that up until 4 or 5 years ago, that you could walk into a store and pick up that sneaker for retail. I always paid over.
I would say we probably started really talking about it as a phenomenon maybe 5 years ago. There's been a resale market almost from the beginning of the collectible market side of Jordan in particular, where fans wanted to fill in their collection, and they would go to either use the internet or go to conferences and find shoes that they didn't have in their collection. But then with the advent of eBay, we saw that the ability to resell product really took hold, and not just resell to help a collector fill in, but to make some money on a resale. And that probably really has been about a 5-year process where that's really been at the forefront.
As time went on, I saw the value of the shoes go up and saw that there was, an investment in buying shoes and selling them. So I started doing that as well on the side, and eventually became my job, my profession for years. I was doing eBay, mostly Craigslist on occasion, but most of the time it was either eBay or at SneakerCon, Dunk Exchange, conventions like that.
This is insane. And then when I saw the money, the transaction, like as a little kid, I think I was like probably 15, 16 maybe. Mm-hmm. As a little kid, when you see somebody sell a pair of shoes for $700, and you're like, yo, I'll get some shoes. I'll make some money. When there's $1 to be made, there's a hustler there. There's a visionary. There's somebody there that says, I'm going to make $1 off of it.
I was doing it full-time, buying and selling comics, records, whatever, shoes as well. I never did it on a consistent basis, but there was times where I would do the conventions. I'd be buying shoes specifically to sell them. So I guess you could call me a reseller at one point, yeah.
Sneakers are a combination of kind of everything that I love. It's design, it's materials, it's color, it's fashion, and that's kind of why I got into it. I mean, the real reason is through skateboarding, actually, which is kind of a weird thing to get into sneakers through, but I was like a skate rat, and I would just hang out at this one store, old store called Special Sauce. It's not there anymore, but I used to hang out there, skate, and I always felt I skated better, looked better with new kicks on.
It's a fashion business. Whether you're selling performance shoes or you're selling casual shoes, it's always a fashion business because of color and technology and logo and athletes that are involved with the product. So I think it's really all of it because it is a fashion business. And fashion's interesting. It's constantly changing. Every week there's something new coming up and something old going away, and so it makes for a really interesting business to follow. It's a young people's business, so it keeps me young to think about what's happening there. There's constant change between brands and retailers and styles and athletes, and so it's a very, very dynamic business, and I think that's what attracts me the most.
Like when the era of boutiques started popping up, like Respace, Recon, A-Life. There's a lot of boutiques that were just out at that time that Nike just started catering, and they realized that was like a different market. When like the SB market came out, it was something new.
I remember opening the box. I was there at the shop. I like kind of hung out and worked there a little bit. Opened the box, and there was these orange boxes, and we were joking about it. We were laughing, saying Nike skateboarding shoes. We were laughing, but they tossed us a couple pairs. We'd wear them, just feedback and whatever, and we would like laughing. We were like, this is a joke. And then a couple years later, I didn't really like skating in them. It wasn't my style really. I liked them. I liked wearing them, not for skateboarding. So I had a couple pairs, and then all of a sudden, it just became this weird thing. Like people were calling the shop, asking for it, and they would give. Normally, you get a run, two or three runs of a shoe, couple of sizes of each shoe, and that would be that. With the SB, we'd open up the box. There'd be 8 pairs, 7 pairs, one of each size. Sometimes not even. Right. 12 pairs. So it was like, who gets the shoe? You know what I mean? And then that brought in some people that were sneaker collectors rather than skateboarders.
So then that created the demand.
Right. It was because they were limited. They were pretty dope at this point. Like, they were putting out some cool stuff. Like, this was probably 2004, 2005. They were putting out some cool stuff, some limited stuff, and we would take them and skate in them. My friends would skateboard in them, and then people would come to the shop and be like, "Yo, I'll give you, if you have a new pair, I'll give you $400 or $500." So we were just little skater punks, and we were like, "Yo, let's make some money." So we were going to other skate shops that we knew about and picking up pairs and trading with people, and then going on eBay.
Like, it's so interesting. When I started playing basketball, I never wore Nikes because Adidas and N1 sponsored a lot of the street tournaments throughout the 5 boroughs of New York City. So I was interested in playing ball because you can get free sneakers. When you played a tournament, a lot of these sponsorships like Adidas and N1 don't even exist no more, I believe, but Adidas and N1 used to always give out tournament exclusive shoes. House of Hoops opened up in 2007, and I remember when they used to have like releases Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. Shout out to Greg, shout out to Will, aka Starberry. But this is, I mean, like, a lot of history is behind this shoe, man.
Where was the first House of Hoops?
The first House of Hoops was in Harlem, on Harlem on 125th Street. The second House of Hoops was in LA, Beverly Hills Mall.
And did you travel to?
Yeah, like, that was my thing. Doing grand openings at stores.
Well, speak on that, because I know a little history behind that. Like, you would have executives asking you guys to actually travel to go and kind of endorse the new openings of these House of Hoop locations.
Yeah, like, networking was a part of camping out. You know, that was a major part of camping out. Not only just networking with my peers I was camping out with, but when it comes to the store owners, you know, in the heyday, when blogs didn't really exist, right before Foot Locker unlocked, they used to have people on the grassroots level that would kind of interact with the people that's camping out. And we would network with these guys. And the whole marketing strategy is, if you're a person that goes around the country and do grand openings and kind of build up the hype and get, you know, like, other sneakerheads in other cities, like, together to camp out, that was like the marketing strategy, like, to build up a hype.
When we used to do a camp out and stuff, it was like a little block party. Like, there was no beef. Everybody got along. All it was sneaker talk. Like everything we do now, like the interviews and stuff. Like, we were doing that on the regular, just on lines, like talking about crazy stories and how you got this shoe and how you got that shoe and how long you stood online for. Like, it was the best.
I remember Paulie with his tents, with his 2 or 3 girls in his tents. I remember me being so cold that I would have to go into the bodega every 10 minutes to buy coffee for $1. I remember kids sleeping in their cars, smoking blunts, you know, drinking whatever, just mostly having a good time, yeah.
I met more people outside my ethnicity, outside my culture, through the sneaker community rather than school, which is like an interesting thing.
It's hard to grasp it because there's different, you know, aspects of the sneaker game. You got the business of it, you know, you got the fun part, you know, and then you got the hype of it. So it's like, you know, those 3 things are very hard things to mix.
True indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
The United States remains the epicenter of the sneaker business in the world. The United States does about 45% of all of the world's sneaker business, and we're clearly not 45% of the world's population by any stretch.
We've caught so much media attention, especially NYC, you know? I think right now, New York City, and it might not last that long, but New York City right now is the mecca of sneakers. And to me, it used to be Tokyo before us. You know, Tokyo was like a mecca of footwear at one point, but now we have it, and we have that hype, and you have news fucking helicopters flying above places, and when you
like
got
how we shut down motherfucking Soho when the Supreme phone
That's
positive.
what I'm saying.
How
You know,
we
like-
just turned the city out and it was just like retarded.
That's when I knew. That day, I knew. I was like, this city will never be the same.
There's a lot of money. There has to be millions, maybe even billions in the market. It has to be. I mean, Nike on a Saturday makes $300 million. Do the math. They got a shoe that retails for $200. They got maybe 1,000 stores, maybe even 500 stores. Each store has what, 30 pairs? Do the math. 30 times 200 times 500 stores. That's. I mean, I'm not a genius, but that's millions right there.
So in total, the market, sneaker market, the value.
This year in the United States was $35 billion at retail. Right.
At the end of the day, Nike is a Fortune 500 company, man. The reason they exist is because of their stockholders. You know, that's at the end of the day, that's what they're trying to do, is keep their stockholders happy. They're trying to build, they're trying to grow, they're trying to be as big as possible. And at the end of the day, they're paying little kids in Asia 2 cents to make the pairs and selling it in the ghetto for 200. You know, we're not talking about a morally conscious company. They don't give a shit.
Selling sneakers is a good thing.
Exactly.
Selling kicks is a good thing because it's legal.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the worst thing you gonna do as a thugged out cat? Skip a line?
Yeah, exactly. Probably just punch somebody in the jaw.
Maybe, you know.
That's the worst.
That's the worst.
That's worst case.
You know what I mean?
This is an entire market in itself, then, the sneaker game.
Oh, nah, definitely, man. It's definitely, man. It's like Wall Street, you know. You know, the price up, price is down, you know what I mean? Sometimes it get dry, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's live, it's on fire. You got the right product, you know what I mean? You can make a lot of money.
There's always a value in shoes. Like I've said many times, I think like 80% of the shoe game is money, and the resale value of the shoe is what determines whether or not the shoe sells out or not. You know, I mean, I don't hate on it. It hurts sometimes when people that you know that want the shoe don't get it because they had, you know, the resellers and the people they hire to be there are out there early getting all the shoes. But at the end of the day, that's just how the game is, and that's what it is right now.
There clearly has been an explosion of collaborations with brands and celebrities and or designers and athletes and limited edition shoes, and I think that's also stoked the interest in the resale market. When something is only made in 1,000 pairs or 5,000 pairs, the ability that desirability of that product goes way up. I remember, gosh, it probably was 10 years ago now. I was in a mall called the Anti-Mall in Costa Mesa, California. And there's a store there called Blend, I think still exists. And there were all these kids hanging out in the courtyard of outside the store. And I said to the owner of the mall, what's going on here? And he said, Nike is releasing a very limited edition shoe here. And these kids are waiting to get it. They want to be first in line. And I think that was really when I became aware of how desirable the resale market had become.
You got sneaker moms. What is a sneaker mom? Like what? You got moms, literally parents, camping out with their kid. Not for their kid. It's not like the one time they go out for a week before Christmas and get little Jimmy a sneaker. It's literally parents like tag teaming. They're online waiting. They're camping out with their kid.
With their kids. We've seen that.
That's wild.
I feel like the formula changed when the rise of social media started to be in full effect. The more and more you see people talking about what they do, the more and more companies start to pay attention and realize, you know what, there is a secondary economy, or there's a second or third hand every time we sell a shoe to a consumer.
Corporate America has definitely realized that there's consumers out there that want limited edition footwear that'll spend $200 retail for a shoe. It's almost switched. They're almost making sneakers for the sneaker collectors, for the sneaker culture, rather than making sneakers and then once in a while to shut up the sneaker collector, they'll put out something limited. Now I feel like there's more limited edition sneakers than regular sneakers, which sounds funny because then it's not even limited anymore.
We never envisioned that shit when you were first organizing the lines for Ronnie and shit. Never thought it would get to this point.
Nah, I mean, yo, it's even to the point now where it's like, I don't know. Like I enjoy, you know, streetwear culture. You get what I'm saying? But the way it's gotten, and the way like people are and everything, and like I enjoy when it's crazy, no doubt. But when you have so many people, you know what I'm saying, overriding one thing, it just makes it no longer fun. You know what I mean?
The more it became mainstream that, look, you can sell shoes, that's when people start to realize, you know what, why would I sell a shoe to you for $50 when I can make $100? You know, like that's when like the game started changing.
At the end of the day, I resell sneakers. I buy sneakers and I sell them for more money. At the end of the day, it's kind of funny because I'll find myself picking to resell. I'll find myself sometimes picking regular general release nice sneakers because the brands have also learned. So they go to Ronnie Feig and they say, you know, do an ASIC, and he does an ASIC. You know, he does 12 ASICs. It's not like they don't look at those shoes and see that they do. They know that they do well. They look at the designs and say, how can we pay this kid $15 an hour to crank out some of these shoes? Before we would wait for the next limited edition shoe to come out. You know, and it was maybe 4 times a year something good would come out. Now I feel like it's every other week something's crazy, which is cool because I love sneakers. I love limited edition sneakers. I love the idea of somebody sat behind a computer and designed and put thought into it and swatched the materials and the colors. I love the idea of that. It's everything I love. But now I feel like it's almost too saturated.
Right.
You know, you got literally a sneaker coming out every single weekend.
I think they definitely pay attention to what's going on, and they see the culture, and they see what it is. That's why I feel like they've actually taken advantage of that, and they started releasing more sneakers. Every time you turn your head, it's a sneaker release. It's sneakers dropping from every single brand, even more and more now than ever, because they've realized that there is a big culture for this. You know, so they're like, if everybody else is making money, they want to make money too. Everybody want to take their hand and put it in the pot.
Usually when they hire people, they're hiring people straight out, you know, of college or straight out the internship, straight off the street. And these are people who are aware of what's going on. And they're basically putting these cats on, you know what I'm saying, to what's hit and what's really going on for people who don't know and not aware.
Right.
You know, because I notice in big businesses like them, they have those one-track minds that are still stuck on a certain mentality.
Right.
And especially as a Nike, you know, somebody who works for Nike, I mean, it's a sportswear company. So at the end of the day, I think their main focus will be, you know, fulfilling sports activities,
right,
and not the streets. But now they're getting hit, bro. You know, they're getting hit. They're starting to look at these Air Max breads that are coming out. You know, look at all the Yeezy colorways they took.
Right.
You know, I mean, they're getting hip to what it is.
When corporate America gets involved, which it definitely is, I mean, they're making millions, billions of dollars.
They have people watching what's going on. They know what's going on.
When that happens, that's what's got me a little worried. That's what's got me scared. Is that they created the reseller, right? Nike created the beast, and they don't like the beast. They want to slay the beast. They want to take me down. You know what I mean? It's like I'm doing something wrong. Yo, you created me. No matter what you say, you made me. Okay, you put out a limited edition anything. You could have put out a limited edition lollipop. I would have been there to grab it and to sell it. When there's money to be made, there's a hustler there to make it.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. But now what they're trying, now they've realized that. They've said, yo, there's kids that have I've built a business. I pay people. I employ people. I got accountants. I got kids working for me. I got social media people. I got a photographer. I've built an entire business and employed people. I don't have a Nike account. I go to the store like anybody else. I buy the shoe, and I'll sell it. I just have the history and the knowledge to know what those sneakers are, to know the margins and to know what to stay away from. And there's signs that, oh, this guy got it and this guy got it. You know, I'm gonna stay away. I don't think that shoe's gonna do it.
Jordan, Nike, Adidas, New Balance in particular, they see what their shoes resell for on eBay. And if kids are willing to pay $250 day of the release, why charge $150? You know, why not up it $20, $30, and see if people will still pay it? And they're still paying it. So they're making even more money and selling even more shoes.
First of all, price going up. I'm not paying 200 plus just to get like shoes that I missed like 10, 12 years ago.
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, you know, they're trying to cut out the reselling now.
Exactly. Stupid.
They're like, yo, on average, people are spending $250, $300 for the shoes anyway, so we might as well get that extra money.
I already knew that. They're trying to cut down the profit margin. I think Concepts charge $235 for those New Balances, bro. $255 retail?
I mean, the price kind of went up, which was kind of crazy because, you know, a lot of them is, you know what I mean, is made with bullshit material. It's definitely not the same as it was back then. And then it's like, even for the resale value, it's like, all right, now the price is up for the retail, so it's like, now you got to go up a little more just to make some bread, you know? It's definitely, man, it's definitely like kind of fucked it up a little bit, you know? But, you know what I mean? You're going to have to make that money some way, somehow, anyway.
I've definitely had to make adjustments running a business. It's, you know, a lot of releases I have to obtain, anywhere from 30 to 100 pairs of shoes that people can't even obtain one pair of. So, yeah, I had to make a lot of adjustments, but I make it do. I definitely make it do.
I mean, 10 years ago, maybe, let's just say 5 years ago, most of the time, I'll call up, email, text, whatever, hold me some pairs.
Yeah.
Yo, I got you. Come through whenever. Now it's a little different. You know, there's more people involved. There's more sneakers, but there's definitely more people involved. There's more craziness involved.
Before, you can walk in the Champs and buy 5 pairs of shoes all at one time, and they wouldn't think about it. Nowadays, you can't do it because the store owner is not going to sell one person 5 pairs of shoes. They may say, well, it's not fair to the public, but as a store, your main purpose is for numbers.
Big change. You should be able, 4 years ago, you could walk into a store and if they had 5 pairs of Jordans and you was the only one there, they would sell you all 5 pairs. Now it's one per customer. It's a raffle you would have to win. You have to come in, show your ID. It's really not as easy. You'll be able to even loop around on the line, get on the line, cut the line again. You know, people did all types of stuff back in the days. Now it's nowhere near that easy to obtain your shoes. Like, if you don't hit that raffle and your name is not on that list and you don't have the ID to match with the raffle ticket, you have no shoe.
The raffle was like something new, you know what I mean? A couple of years back, you know, you go up in the store, you know what I mean, they got your kick, you get it. But it's like now, you gotta go through a raffle, some spots online with Twitter and all that. It's like, things is not the same, I don't know, man.
So with this raffle and this Twitter, that done changed the game. Now you can't just walk into a store and buy shoes. Now you got to do it the whole new 21st century way.
Yeah, definitely, man. You know, back in the days, it was much easier. You know what I mean, to get a kick that you like. You know what I mean. And then you got people that's, you know what I mean. You got these new kids. You know, they enter in a raffle just to enter it. They not really, you know what I mean, interested in the kick. It's just they sign up just to sign up. Then you got some cats, they'll win a raffle, they can't even afford the shoe. You know, so it's crazy out here.
Tickets and RSVPs and people bum rushing lines and, you know, there's politics involved with, you know, who you don't know. and it's just it's changed. It's not the same. You know what I mean? If you don't do it that way, then there's always going to be some angry customer that's screaming at you that his 15-year-old son got cut by 5 older dudes in line, and that he was there first and stuff like that. There's just always going to be an issue. There's always going to be people pushing the line, pushing at the door, doing this and that. So the ticket, the RSVP, all of that has kind of eliminated that negativity. People are doing like all the tech guys are making bots for the different websites, Supreme, for Kith, for any website. They make the bot, they sell the bot for however much, and it adds it to your cart automatically with all your info. That's a way people are making money. Another way people are making money is by paying other individuals to stand in line with them to buy the shoes, to get extra pairs. Besides that, you have to know somebody on the inside.
Do a raffle and really only raffle off 200.
Honestly, that's my firm belief that a lot of stores are doing, inconsiderate stuff like that. Like they're being very dishonest. Like stores like the Nike Sportswear store, 21 Mercer. Honestly, I don't believe them to be honest individuals. Like this raffle that they just held for the Zoom Court Vapor Air Jordan Black Cements, like they may say that they're raffling off X amount of pairs, but I know from personal experience that they're gonna hold at least about 20 or 30 pairs for friends and family and celebrity clientele. Exactly. And who's to say that that's all the pairs that they have? Like we're not going into their stock room and counting their inventory.
You never know.
So exactly.
But security is also an issue with letting people in or getting paid by people to get in because they don't get paid enough. But yes, there is a lot more security at releases because of all the craziness and hostileness that occurs.
Because they put y'all in predicaments when, like how you were saying, you got to deal with not having tickets or wristbands. So now everybody is going to be like, yo, I was here already, even though a nigga just got here.
Yep.
And you got cats that was out here all night.
Listen, that eliminates all of that. All night shit, I'm camping out, none of that. Here's your band, good night. See you in the morning.
Yep.
But that's order. And sometimes they don't want order.
And see, look what happened. They don't want it because they want that tweet. They want that picture. Look at Nike that. They want that tweet to go all the way to Europe. Look at Nike that. That's not even, that shit is a really right.
Now you gotta always look behind you or come with a bunch of people so nobody tries to cut you, and it's a whole bunch of nonsense for nothing, man. For a sneaker, for end of the day, a sneaker, nah. I mean, I love sneakers to death. It's my passion. I wear them on my arm. I wear them on my feet, but I can't see it being that much. I mean, if I can get them, I can get them. If not, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like cops is out here trying to regulate, and then next thing you know, boop, in the morning, shit got shut down. Gotta get the tweet, like, yo, it's gonna be raffles. Like, I've seen the transition go from people standing in line, like when I first started like messing with sneakers, like on my own, in like 2000, 2001, like short lines at Foot Locker, 34th Street, first come, first serve, to like maybe 10, 15 people outside. Right. To now it went to, you gotta stand outside and do overnight, doing 2 to 3 days. Outside like when I wanted the titanium 23s of Jordan 28s, I mean 23s, I had to sit there and do 3 days at Foot Action 34th Street. Or doing 5 days for Ray Allen 13s in Boston, Yeezys, doing 24 hours, like in snow, rain, crazy weather, to now it's automatic. You gotta sit there and do the Twitter RSVP on Nike.com, stuff
That's
like
good
that.
you brought that up. What do you think of it? Do you think Twitter
You see how
and
that
the
even just got
fucked up the game?
You see how that even got eliminated itself. Now everything's just straight raffles.
Because it's like, they got like a store called Flight Club, and it's like, I see cats in there put their sneaker in there, and they take their percentage off of it. Then after they get their percentage, some cats be walking out of there with about 20 bucks on what they paid. It's like, what type of shit is that? Like you spend a bunch of money just to make $20? I don't see that. That's crazy to me.
They watering it down a lot, where there's resellers out there selling people And there's nothing wrong with it, but they're selling people the shoes for $20 over a box. Why go through the hassle of getting somebody a sneaker and charge them?
Fucking shame.
You can't even buy yourself a meal with $20. So you're doing a disservice to yourself by, you know, you're disrespecting the art of reselling that basically.
Events.
Yeah, I'm looking into, you know, I've never really been big on the sneaker shows, quote unquote. I've done a lot of shows when I just started out. And shows you make a killing at shows. You can go to a show and make $5,000, $10,000 if you
shows meaning like
sneaker shows, sneaker con, and all of those type of sneaker shows. If you go to those shows with the right sneakers, you'll make money on them.
Let's just look 2 years ago at SneakerCon, one of the biggest sneaker trade shows. SneakerCon is a very simple thing. You got a venue, you got vendors, you got people coming in, buying, selling, trading. If you look at it 2 years ago, I mean, look at it now, man. The last show was at the Jacob Javits Center.
Right.
Not only was it at the Javits Center, but it was packed at the Javits Center.
Huge.
Huge. You know, we're talking 200 vendors.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 years ago, 10, 15 vendors at a little studio. 10 years, fast forward 10 years, you got 200-300 vendors, 10,000 people.
In one of the biggest venues in NYC.
Right. And I mean, the Javits Center is not cheap to rent either, even if it's on a Sunday or Saturday.
Dunk Exchange came before SneakerCon. SneakerCon kind of followed the blueprint of every sneaker show that preceded it, like before them, and they just mastered it, and they just got it better. One of like the founders, Alan, was a buddy of mine who I camped out with, and I remember him talking to me about SneakerCon hours over the phone on how he wanted to make it like a Comic-Con, and everything that he said that he wanted it a sneaker show to be, it is today.
4:30 in the morning, bro. I'm not leaving till 8:30, bro.
Okay, how you doing,
brother?
Everything good?
Amen,
Good.
bro.
Everything good.
So you thinking this shit is going to be done in a couple months, couple years? What you think, bro? Next year, retail is 220 plus tax, 240. You think the government don't see that black and Spanish people and Asian non-whites is making money off of this shit? People are quitting selling drugs to sell sneakers, bro. You don't think Uncle Sam see that? You could tell a lot by looking at a man's Facebook and Instagram. Am I lying?
Absolutely.
The government, they got people that specifically watch that.
So you think that's the reason why they raising the retail value?
Of course, bro. How many people you know making $30,000 a week, bro?
And they releasing sneakers every week type shit.
Yeah.
You think that's why the volume increased too?
Of course,
like
bro.
What they putting out?
Of course, bro.
How long you been selling sneakers, man?
4.5 years, bro.
Yeah?
Going on 5 years this October.
Tell
December.
everybody who you are, though, man. Just
Brother Black, man. 88, man. Instagram, man.
You got an Instagram, website, Facebook, anything people want to check out and shit?
Brother Black 88, Instagram, man.
That's what's up.
Facebook is too government.
Good looks, man. All right, brother.
Thanks, man. Y'all ain't even tell me the cameras was rolling, but it's all love, man.
The sneakers, man.
I've been selling sneakers for like since 2012. But my brother been doing it for a while. That's my brother right there.
Oh yeah? How long he been doing it?
He's been doing it for like 5-6 years.
5-6 years. So have you seen any changes in the sneaker game and shit? What up, family?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. Let everybody know who you are, man.
My brother right here.
It's my brother Africa. Little Africa, this is big Africa right here. So what's going on?
I know these cats, they be in the streets getting their shit done, you know what I mean?
We put in work all the time.
All the time.
So
1 to 10. Always 1 to 10.
We was just trying to figure out, like, do you see any changes in the sneaker game? Is it slowing up?
It's been slowing up a lot because they make a lot more quantities, compared to before.
Right.
It's like the price that you want now, you can't really get it. Nowadays, certain shoes you can go in the store and actually find it in the store.
Right.
Whereby if they had like a limited amount, it would have been sold out and the price would have shot up.
Right.
You know what I mean, not everybody want to be sneaker, everybody wearing
Exactly.
It's everywhere.
So do you think like corporate America is starting to find out that brothers is out here hustling sneakers again?
Yeah. It's all over,
stock market,
Wall Street want to get in
Wall Street, regular people, drug dealers who got money in the backyard, in the basement.
Everybody
bringing it out for sneakers. Everybody's bringing it out.
Grandpa, grandmas, everybody online.
8 years old, 10 years old.
It never used to be like that.
Man.
Not good no more. Too many people want to get in the game. Stay in your lane. You don't know nothing about shoes. Buy your bubble gum. We buy shoes. After the Concords came out, after the Galaxy Pack came out, everything changed. Everybody wants to sell shoes. This ain't Mary King.
Right.
These are Jordans and Nikes. They're messing up the game. They're not sneakerheads. They wannabes.
Right.
Us OGs, we know what it is. We used to go in the store, buy what we want, go home, have a good day. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
It's different now.
First on just like sneakers go on clearance, man.
Right.
Back in the early, 2000s, man. Jordans was $19 and stuff like that. Too many resellers. 90% of the business is resellers.
Right.
I'm saying it's cool people make money, but I'm saying if it's nothing but sharks in the water and there's no fish, I'm saying sooner or later the sharks are going to eat one another, bro. The sneaker game, it went mainstream. Like everybody knows about it. Good, the bad. I'm saying? The people that ain't supposed to know about it. You know what I'm saying? And I try SneakerCon. I love SneakerCon. The guy that throws it, customer service is extraordinary. I go all over the country with the dude. Chicago, Cleveland. I'm going to Detroit next month. DC, Atlanta. I went to San Francisco. Only because of the Yeezys, I missed Los Angeles. So he understood that. But everywhere he goes, I go, bro. This is something to do, something to keep me occupied. I love it, man. I'm surrounded by sneakerheads.
Changes as far as the game?
Big time. We got a lot of followers now. Everybody see people making money, so they're trying to get in where they fit in.
So the game is like flooded right now.
Oh man, everybody want to be a reseller. Nobody want to be like Mike no more. Everybody want to be a reseller. But then you got all these followers, they eliminating us because they lowballing us just to say they sold a pair of sneakers to somebody.
But at the same time, it hurts the game because everybody's trying to undercut each other. We got to get on it where we all networking together. If we can network together, it'd be better. Nike's going to keep flooding, Adidas is going to keep flooding, Reebok's going to keep flooding, resellers are going to be out. Period.
Like certain shoes, that's not like just everywhere. That like everybody's not on. Like there's certain shoes that everybody just want to go for. So, I stay away from those.
All right.
Unless maybe a client of mine want it, then that's a different situation.
Nice.
But I stay away from those as much as possible.
We only go for limited shoes now. Like shoes that, like let's say it's
not necessarily,
but we go for every shoe. Don't get it wrong, but we invest our money in limited shoes because that's the shoes that everybody's not gonna have.
Yeah.
You understand?
It's more about supply and demand.
Exactly. The shoe that Nike make the least.
Okay.
That's the shoe we go for now. And at the same time, a lot of these new resellers, they think the game is, they look at us, they think we're making thousands of dollars every release, but they don't know that it's too many work. Sometimes you gotta fight people, you gotta scream, everybody think they're stars, like so it's too many work.
And the new resellers is messing it up.
Yeah, they're messing it up.
They don't know how to, go about.
So the new cats that's coming in the game is kind of messing it up.
They don't.
Cheap.
Yeah, because sometimes they think we're making so much money for a pair of shoe that maybe you're supposed to charge $250. They're charging like $350.
Yeah.
Because they think they don't know how the market.
Do it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And certain shoes that are supposed to charge like $500, they're charging less.
Nice.
So they got the whole game backwards.
All fucked up.
Yeah. So the sneaker game is, still there. It's not really dead, but
It's better you be a drug dealer than to sell sneakers because when you're a drug dealer, you go to jail and they make money off of you. When you sell sneakers, they don't make any money. So it's bad for business for them. Am I right or wrong? Save up. It's not what you make, it's what you save, man. You can make $1 million, but if you don't save anything, you broke, bro. At the end of the day, it's the same thing as a homeless man. So the reality is, come in here, make your money. When you leave the game, you have a sufficient amount of knowledge and a decent amount of cash, money. So now you can venture into something else. I mean, that's what I'm gonna do, bro. Hopefully, move on up. You know what I'm saying? Every year I want to do better than the last year.
So there are adjustments that you've been making as far as like reselling kicks or trying to get into a different lane?
Of course, bro. You got to, you know what I'm saying? I'm 28, bro. I don't want to be doing this when I'm 52, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is a lot of walking around, a lot of traveling. It's a lot of stress, man. You know what I'm saying? It's real, right or wrong.
Absolutely. You got to try to find a new way, a new path, especially when it starts to get flooded the way it is. That's why I'm doing the documentary, you know what I'm saying? This is my lane. Like, this is where I'm trying to go with it.
Bro, I can't, not to cut you off. What's today? Today is Saturday. I've been planning for this date for like the whole year, bro. This is one of the biggest events, bro. It is the biggest event. This one in the winter time, in the winter sneaker con in New York, bro. And I haven't had sleep in like 30 hours, bro. I drunk like coffee back and forth. I can't go to sleep, because if I go to sleep, I'm not waking up. I'm sleeping past 10 alarms, bro. I may sleep on my phone, bro.
We're sharing our new beta website, datalabs.ebay.com.
Okay.
Really focused on trying to provide some transparency into what's going on in the marketplace.
Okay.
So eBay, one of the biggest open e-commerce websites in the world. Everyone knows about eBay and the history of eBay. But we've been collecting data for a long time. Now we're trying to provide that data to everyone to make better commerce decisions, to know how to price their items when they're buying them or selling them. And every week, whenever there was a sneaker release, days before, people were looking on eBay for the sneakers.
Right.
And that's what we're kind of focused in on sneakers.
So what percentage of the eBay market in total would you say the sneaker community has?
I think it's hard to say what the sneaker community is. You see here today such a range of things, from keychains to paintings to sneakers to socks. Where do you draw the line?
So, all right, so sneakers specifically, what would you say percentage-wise?
I don't know if I have
earnings.
I don't know if I have a pinpoint percentage, but I'd say maybe 4%.
Okay.
If I was just saying off the top of my head, I could tell you it's one of the top categories on
Which is
eBay.
a lot. Which is 4% is a huge amount.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And because of that kind of warranted things like the data labs, as far as people being able to monitor and see what's going on as far as prices and what things are worth.
Yeah, exactly. So when a new release is coming out, how can you understand what the hype is and what the demand is? eBay is a great place to look at that. The searches start to climb when the new Chicago Bull 1's coming out.
Right.
If we're able to actually show that to people, they're able to act accordingly.
They paying attention. That's why the price is going high.
Prices is rising.
Yeah, they're trying to cut the middleman, us, the middle people.
So more and more, it's going to be slow. It's not gonna. I've been in the game for a while, so I know how to move my way around to buy certain sneakers. So I'll be okay. But as far as the money, it's not gonna be as much as before.
Okay. eBay sales, as far as the sneaker market is concerned, specifically.
So our interest in the sneaker market has happened over the last, I'd say, year, honestly. I started at eBay about 2 years ago and saw early on the large community of sneaker fans that are on eBay. And there wasn't too much going on to help understand what's going on with the market. And I saw it as an opportunity to learn. So I started looking at some of the information, some of the data, and it really kicked in, honestly, when LeBron signed with the Cleveland Cavs. I saw a huge spike in search data when LeBron signed, and I was like, damn, I can't believe that we're not making these correlations and doing anything to inform buyers and sellers that now's the time to do commerce. We saw, I could imagine Miami Heat fans kind of dissing him and creating T-shirts to diss LeBron right away and sell them on eBay. Or the old Cavs fans getting their gear out from the ashes and selling them on eBay again. So there's a whole change in commerce based around this one event, and there had to be tons more. So I started looking more at the search data, and every week whenever there was a sneaker release, days before, people were looking on eBay for the sneakers.
Right.
And that's what we're kind of focused in on sneakers.
I'd love to see the brands going back and forth. ASICS puts out a shoe, New Balance puts out a shoe, Nike puts out, and they're all kind of competing for the coolest, best design, or really probably just to make money. But from me, from a consumer perspective, this is the golden age of sneakers.
Nike and Jordan Brand actually really trying to do is push their stuff more to the bigger stores, to the Foot Lockers, to the House of Hoops, to the Champs. I don't know if you realize, but there's so many more stores opening up. You go to a mall now, there's 5 or 6 different sneaker stores in a mall. It's a Finish Line, it's a Champs, it's a Foot Locker, it's a kid's Foot Locker, a ladies' Foot Locker, a Foot Action,
And technically, by the way, this is just for the camera, they're all resellers because, like you mentioned before, they're getting the shoe from Nike
and
a certain price, and then they're flipping it and then selling it to us. That's why it's an MSRP.
Suggested manufacturer retail price.
Exactly.
Right.
So, we only doing what's been going on for the
And everybody's eating. It's going from one person, when at the end of the day, who's really eating is, the Nike.
Pretty much.
pretty much when they put out these $30 shoes for, and at the end of the day when we sell it, sometimes they're going for $500-$600 to a person. So who's really winning? You know, at least 4 or 5 people done ate off of that shoe before the one person that's gonna really wear it.
So in a sense, Nike has become its own reseller.
Yeah, I mean, what they're trying to do now is they're trying to get rid of the mom and pops. You know, so they're going and they're looking at numbers and they're saying, you know, well, this guy has a store in Philly and let's take him out. Let's remove his account and all the sneakers that we would sell to him at wholesale. Let's just sell them at full retail in the Nike store. Now, it's funny because that dude in Philly who owns that inner city store, he doesn't really do anything for Nike. Nike gives him product. Nike does things for him. They give him product, they make him money, they keep him in business. He doesn't necessarily do anything for Nike other than pay them, but at the same time, over the course of 30 years, he's helped build that brand. He's put out products. So it's not that he's not doing anything for them now, but he's done so much for them in the past. But again, they don't care. They're looking to make a buck. So they're cutting out stores. It's not that they're being the reseller, but they're just being all points of sales. They're trying to make the shoe and sell the shoe, rather than make the shoe and wholesale the shoe and have the retailers, you know.
But in a sense, when you take into consideration that now that they're raising retail prices,
it just makes my job harder, you know?
Yeah, when you say that they try to cut you out of the equation, they are essentially
trying to be the reseller.
Trying to be the reseller because they see that margin.
Right, and they want it.
They want it.
I've built an entire business off of reselling Nikes. I've made some money, I've lost some money, but I've built a business from it, and think about how many people have done that, you know? Think about how much money Flight Club makes. They don't have Nike accounts. Maybe they do. I don't know. Probably not.
Right.
Think about how much money they make. I mean, they're on Broadway. In basically they're in Soho. Broadway and Soho.
On Broadway.
I mean, their rent must be
through the roof.
Through the roof.
Yeah.
And they employ 10, 15 people. I mean, they've built a big business, not a small business like this. This is technically a small business. They've built a huge business off of essentially reselling Nikes. Think about all the money that Nike could have made, you know?
It's harder to make money as a reseller. Resellers are just having to buy more shoes. You know, when you're only making $50 a shoe, it's hard to make money. So if you're only buying 1 or 2 pairs, so they go and they buy 15 or 20 pairs and they make their money that way.
I think in terms of resale value, it's slowed down because it's just so, like, the market is so cluttered now. Everyone wants to resell their shoes. Like, every release date, it seems like half of the pairs that get out there are right on eBay right away. So I think in terms of resale money, definitely slowed down. Also just what's on the market. Like, it's hard to find some of the actual rare stuff. It seems like it's mostly just, like, whatever's the latest now. Because it's just flooded.
I mean, I think, you know, it's sneakers, man. People love sneakers, you know, since way back, you know, since the 80s. You know, people always been interested in having the fly kicks, you know, so I don't think it's like gonna like disappear, but it's definitely like kind of dying down, you know. I guess some folks may lose interest, you know what I mean, because what's going on, and just be like, yo, fuck it, you know, I don't want to do this no more. But, you know, it's going to always be some money in it. You know what I mean? It's not going to totally be dry.
You know what's the funny thing? I feel like resellers I feel like that would never fizzle out. I feel like there's always going to be a demand for something. It's supply and demand. Just with everything, I feel like, you know, people line up and resell tickets. That's going to go on for forever. Toys, whatever, you know, the people have lined up and camped out for Elmos and resold them for thousands of dollars. So it's like, I don't feel like the sneakers have such a big impact on everybody's lives and culture, and I don't think that'll ever fizzle out. I feel like, if anything, there are more resellers now than before. And I feel like a lot of people who's starting to get into the game now, they really don't understand the art of reselling. And they're watering down, they're really...
I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, they don't really understand the art of reselling. It's a service. That's what you're paying for.
I mean, I'm still a collector. It's definitely a change now, you know what I mean? It's not that I lost the love. I still love sneakers. I still buy sneakers. I still wear sneakers. But now it's more for the money, because I was in it at a time where people really weren't in it for money. And now I feel that at this point I almost have to make money from it, because I've been doing it for so long. I'm like almost 10 years. And I feel like if I'm not out there buying pairs making money, first off, someone else will. But I think that I should be the one out there making money, rather than a kid who's either in it for just to make money, or he doesn't know, he doesn't have the knowledge, or he's been collecting sneakers. You know how many kids, they come into the store and they're like, oh, I have a sick collection. I've been collecting for a year, 2 years. I got 60 pairs of shoes, and they're all Jordan, they're all Nike. I'm like, first off, you're not a sneaker collector. You're a Nike collector. You're a Jordan head, whatever. I feel like the true definition of a sneaker collector is someone that doesn't have brand affiliation. They don't just have Nikes. They look at a sneaker and they say, I like this sneaker. I'm going to wear it because I like it. Doesn't matter what brand it is. That's a real sneaker collector. Someone who has Diodoras, Adidas, Jordan, Saucony. That's a sneaker collector, not just a kid who has Jordans and Nikes. You're not a sneaker collector. You're a Jordan head.
Well, America raised me to be a capitalist. America didn't raise me to be an environmentalist. That's just a fact. If I was like an environmentalist, I'd be out somewhere like protesting. I'm just being honest. Hugging trees. I can turn on my conscious switch, and I can turn on my capitalist switch, and my capitalist switch is on right now.
That was fucking dope.
That's why you see all these restocks of Jordan 11s, Fragment 1s. All the shoes are never actually selling out. They're just hyping it up and then putting them back out later on and restocking them, whatever, over the next couple of months. And it ends up being not as exclusive as a shoe as what it was meant to be, So kind of it hurts the value in the end, but Nike's the one making the money.
I think the reason that they're doing that is that I think they feel that their most loyal customers are being gouged by the flippers in the marketplace. And so by putting more pairs into the marketplace, it's driving down the resale multiple that a reseller can get and making those shoes accessible to their best customers. I also think when Nike Plus comes in, sometime this summer, we're going to see the release of their new apps there. I think that will allow them to control who gets access to some of these release shoes. And it's going to be the person who's buying a lot of shoes, not the person who's buying and speculating in shoes. So the real collectors are going to get first crack at some of these releases.
Probably see the creation of a new account soon. That's that's going to separate the sportswear from the TZ and the SB to the Jordan to everything to its own streetwear.
Right.
Because it's coming to that. Like you said, the prices are changing. They're starting to charge more. I don't know if they've been making more lately. I think every year they've been making more 11s. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
They've been supplying more. So it's like they're gonna have to separate something. Because like I said, the sportswear makes money. You got schools that buy off of them. You got all that other shit. There's more than just the streetwear that we use.
We're in the golden age today of technology, and technology in everything you can imagine. The technology in the way a shoe performs, technology in the way a shoe is made, and technology in the way a shoe is sold. And all of those things are changing very, very rapidly. Speed to market is one of the things that all the brands talk about as really important to their future. Adidas has talked about this speed factory concept that they're working with, and it involves making shoes closer to the United States, maybe even on the United States soil, so to cut down on the transit time on boat. They're talking about using manufacturing techniques that allow them to make the shoes more quickly. We're seeing machine knitting, Adidas Prime Knit, Nike Fly Knit. We're seeing 3D printing coming in as a way of making outsoles and to some extent part of the upper. And then the ability to buy shoes online and get them delivered quickly. Amazon's just announced a new initiative to try to speed up their delivery to even faster than they're currently delivering. Last year in the United States, 1 in 4 athletic shoes were sold online. 25% of the business was done online. I expect that number to continue to grow. And, you know, down the road, I could see us walk into a store and have some kind of a computer scan our foot, and we select different materials and different aspects of the shoe the way we want it done. We come back in a couple of hours, maybe a couple of weeks, but not a long period of time. And there's a shoe made exactly for our foot, exactly to our specifications, a shoe that nobody else has. And I think that starts to become the penultimate end of the collectible market, is when we're buying a shoe that's just for me.
It's a weird world, man. It's a weird culture. It's something that I originally got involved with because I love shoes, and now, I hate to say it, but I'm in it for the money, man. I'm here because not only do I love sneakers, but I want to make a buck, and I've been doing it for so long that I have to. You know, I have to make a buck. But the way I stay in business and the way I keep myself going is when someone calls, emails, yo, thanks for looking out for me, bro. I really appreciate that. Or come into the store and be like, yo, you have these for me? Yo, thank you so much. And I hook them up. That's what keeps me going, you know what I mean? So it's the money, but at the end of the day, I'm just lucky enough I'm lucky enough to have found a hobby that I could turn into a business.
So what do you think about that whole little situation? Because there's actually a battle between Nike and Adidas right now where people are getting sued, designers are jumping ship and shit. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a smart move for Adidas. Obviously, Adidas is growing faster than Nike right now, and Adidas is becoming more popular than Nike. So, and apparently, there's gonna be like a whole song for the Yeezy 3s through Adidas with Kanye.
Honestly, I don't give a fuck. I'm keeping it raw. You know what I'm saying? You make a product that I may or may not like, I buy it. If I don't like it, if I find it's too expensive, I'm not buying it. If I like it and it's expensive, I'm gonna find a way to get it. But at the end of the day, I really don't care about your battle. And they're trying to get people to get involved in this snowball effect and, yeah, get on my bandwagon or get on my bandwagon. For what? I really don't care. Just keep making good shoes, good clothes. That's it. All this shit about don't talk about this next brand or F this brand or F that brand. Come on. Make a good product. Let the people like it. Let them choose what they want. You can't call yourself a sneakerhead when your closet is just full of J's. Or your closet is just full of Air Force Ones. You gotta genuinely love sneakers. No matter what brand, model, shape, size. Like me, anything with a sock, 3M, and some good suede, and pebble leather, I'm hooked.
You on it?
I'm on it. I'm on it. Because that's the generation I come from. You know? But
shout out to the 1990s.
Facts. Well, you know, I'm an 80s baby. You know, I don't want to say my age, but you know, I came up on land. But once again, that comes from the 80s wearing Pumas, Puma baskets, Puma clouds. It was suede, and you used to have to walk around with your toothbrush and clean them joints.
In Brooklyn, it was Pumas. It's definitely Pumas.
Pumas. And then you had the Queens cats with the shell-toe Adidas.
Shell-toe.
You know what I'm saying? The cats in the Bronx was rocking Pro Kegs. You know,
or Cortezes.
Cortez, get it straight.
Shut up, man. Bronx cat. Me and BK, know where you at. But you know, that's what it was. That's what it was. You know, and then you had I'm West Indian, so you had the West Indian crowd that had the Clarks, the Wallabies, you know what I mean?
Travel Fox.
Travel Fox, you know what I'm saying? OG shit, you know what I mean? So, we was always into, you know, fly kicks, British Walkers, you know what I'm saying? Bally's, you know what I'm saying? British Knights, you know? We was always in Kinkers.
K-Swiss.
K-Swiss. You know what I'm saying?
Eagles.
Eagles, Roosters.
Lottos.
Lottos. You know what I mean? We was always into sneakers, bro. And we was not a slave to one brand. And I have to bring this up. We were never a slave to one brand. And that's what one of the problems with the game now. People become slave to one brand. You can't tell me all you own is Nike. Or all you own is Adidas. And side note, I'm gonna put this out there. Y'all young cats running around with Adidas sweats on and J's, stop it. The shit is whack. Stop it. Adidas sweats with J's on. What type of shit is that? You got J's on your feet with a Nike product on top. Come on, son. That's not how we did it.
Yo, that's that new wave shit.
That's that new wave shit. The shit is whack. But like I said, we were never slaves to one brand. We bought what we liked and we rocked it. We would have a variety of sneakers in the crib.
Absolutely.
It's just like the beginning of Juice. Remember when you was trying on the kicks with the outfit?
Yeah.
That's how we was every day before we got up to go to school. And see which one looks better. It wasn't, should I would rock the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, the 4s. We had a variety of shoes. But you know what? I'm going to close out on
the
that
education from
You know
Dex, Professor Dex.
I don't want to say all that, but
yo, Professor Dex, my nigga. That's who it is right now. So
yeah,
so
this is a good thing that my man Ray, my boy here, is doing to try to
just educate
out there and let them know what it really is with this sneaker culture.
From
and
cats that been in it for a while.
Yeah, cats that really lived this. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all ain't living. You know what I mean? I'm talking about from a time where you wore your new pair of sneakers only when you're with your boys or with your family. Because you get kept slipping by yourself, them joints was gone. That's how we grew up. You know what I'm saying? And we grew up with a respect for the sneaker where when we was growing up, we only had 3 pairs of sneakers. Maybe even 2. School shoes and going out shoes. And you had to keep them clean.
You had to clean your shits.
You had to clean your shits. I get tight when I see dudes like on the train or whatever with some hot kicks on and they doing this. Stepping on the shoe and I'm like, this nigga got DB9s on and he's stepping on them. Or Bread Ones, Royal Ones, and they don't care. They have no love or respect for the shoe no more, and it's sad. But we gonna teach y'all by force.
Never worn. Yeah, no, not in stores anymore.
I hope that you ready though. These is Deadstock. Deadstock right here. I ain't even try to put my foot in none of these. I got your answers.
Deadstock to me like is a lifestyle. When you're ready to pull out on any given moment.
Deadstock to me was like old classic kicks.
Deadstock, that's like tucked away. It's like you buy them, then you tuck them away, and you don't touch them. They're brand new.
Deadstock bringing out a fresh, haven't been worn yet, just ready to kill them out of the box.
But when you said Deadstock, you meant shit that you can't walk in a Foot Locker and find.
Deadstock, never worn, bro. Deadstock. And bro, that's another thing. I sell sneakers, but every sneaker in my collection I wear, bro. Everything. Galaxy foam, Gray Allen, everything. Receipts with everything, bro. That's what you call a sneakerhead. I wear my sneakers out the store. Snow, rain, it could be raining acid, I wear it. If I pay $200, I'm winning, bro. I don't care what they go for on eBay. Unless it's $10,000, different story, bro. Galaxy foams I wore going to court, bro. On a parking ticket, bro.
Every time I hear the word Deadstock, I think about this documentary. You understand? So, and that's real talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dope. So every time I hear it, I think about the doc.